Hi all, I'm back again, back on the Mark II Resurrection. In my little box of things I found a little badge, and this goes on the back bumper of the Mark II, and I don't know if you can see, but it says disc brakes. So the idea of this badge was that people were warned that the Jag Mk2 had four-wheel discs. So back in the mid-60s, a lot of cars only had four-wheel drum brakes, which would have taken a long time to stop. And I think the idea of the badge was that people were warned to keep a good distance away from a Jag Mk2 in case it had to slam on its brakes. So what I'm going to try and do is paint the letters red. So I had a look on the SNG website, and it looks like these were sort of red lettering with the red triangle in the middle of it. Now I think the downside of this idea was it is so small you'd have to be right up the back, almost at the back bumper of the Mark II, to see the disc brake badge. So I guess as soon as you saw it you backed off, who knows. But it looks quite nice, and we'll just see if we can fiddle around and paint the letters. The letters are actually stamped in, so that'll be a help. So I found some pillar box red paint, and I've just got a nail. So what I'm going to try and do is just very carefully use the nail to put on a little bit of red paint in each of those letters. I don't know if this is going to work or not. We'll see. I've done the D, I, S and the C, and now I'll just let it sit and see if I can wipe the excess off with a rag, but I really don't know if this is going to work or not. So that kind of didn't work very well, so I've got a bit more tips on the rag, and I'll just clean that up and try something else. Normally I have the radio on listening to the cricket or something like that when I'm doing this sort of job, but I'm making YouTube, so you guys probably don't want to hear the Australians get thrashed again. Okay, well this new theory seems to have turned out a lot better. So here we go. So that's actually fairly passable. So I'm quite pleased with that, that'll do. You certainly wouldn't be able to see it from 100 metres away though. That's okay, it'll do for the back of the car. I doubt that anybody's going to get down on their hands and knees to see that I did that properly, but I guess you just never know. I'm sure someone will criticise. At some point in the last 59 years, someone's mangled this thread right down here. So I'm going to have to pack it out with a few washers and so on. So I've been hunting through all of my little nuts and bolts, and it's a miracle because I found a nut that fits the thread. Some of the threads on this car are a bit weird. I presume they're British Standard Fine or something like that, but this nut here I think is actually a metric one, but it runs up and down perfectly. So I've put I'm going to put a little spring washer on just to make sure the whole thing doesn't fall off. It'd be a bit embarrassing to be in front of an old E.H. Holden or something like that of the same era with four drum brakes and not being able to stop, and if the poor driver couldn't see the disc brake warning sign. So I'll just go and put that on to see what it looks like. You might be able to see there's a rectangular hole behind the bumper bar. I'm not too sure why it's rectangular, but now I have to sort of poke this through and try and get up behind the bumper bar, which is not that easy up there, but we'll see if we can do it. So I'll put the badge on first. Then I'll put a washer. I have to sort of do this by feel. Put a washer, and I've got a little spacer which I found as well. Little bush, so I'll use that as a packer as well. Yep. Look at that guy. So I've got one washer on. Sometimes you need a bit of dexterity to do this sort of thing. Okay, so that went on okay. Now I'll put another washer on. And the trick here is to make sure the whole thing doesn't fall out. I'm going to put a spring washer on. Then I'll try and get the nut started. Now this is going to be the tricky bit because I sort of can't quite get my fat fingers up under there. And I don't really want to have to take the whole bumper off. If anybody's got any bright ideas about how to do this, can you please post to YouTube about it? Oh, hello Leah. Got the nut on. Now we've just got to make sure that the badge is the right way up. It's got to be the right way up because you don't want people having to look out of their own car upside down. Now I don't know, that's not quite central, so I'll make use of that slotted hole in the bumper. Maybe that's what it's for. Just try and hold that in place. Okay, so that's on quite nicely. So you might see there's a piece missing around the trunk release or the boot release. I've got one of those on order from Jaguar Mk2. It's coming from S&G, I think, in the UK, and that's okay. I still quite like the job that was done on the back of this, because it's obviously not a 3.8, it's a 4.2. So now you can see the badges on the back bumper, and any cars with dodgy brakes, hopefully we'll be able to read that from 200 metres away, which I doubt. Unless they know all about Jaguars, in which case they're probably driving one. So thanks for that. That was quite an achievement, getting that on. Well, thanks for watching that. That episode probably isn't the most exciting television viewing that people have seen, but for some of us that's what we like to do on a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon. Some of us just like to fiddle around and take our own time to do little intricate jobs on our Jaguars. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.